A massive homeless encampment was just...
Uh-oh. Was this in California? Oh my god, it's LA.
A massive homeless encampment was just annihilated. Look at this.
Sprawling homeless encampment in Van Nuys. But the plan didn't go exactly as planned.
Hey, they're gonna cut the they're cutting the locks.
After
they
a brief
barricaded
delay,
themselves in.
rangers cut the lock off and the cleanup began.
And it doesn't seem like there's any kind of real resistance.
People living at the largest homeless encampment in the San Fernando Valley moved out.
Where they moved it to?
Thursday morning, LA City crews cleared out what some call the compound in Van Nuys. There were about 24 tents on the lot.
So back where I used to live in this area called I lived kind of near a city called Santa Ana, and I don't know if I can find pictures of it. Hold on, let me see if I can find pictures of it. So if you go over here and so there's a river, right? And let me show you like what the river looks like real quick. So this picture here, right? This is like kind of near an area I used to live, and there's like this river. Like I don't know what they're called. It's like a river. It's kind of, is it a river? But it's kind of like a dry bed, and then there's like these areas where people can walk on the sides of them, right? And so back in the days, when I used to live here, it looked like this. Like, see, here's like the riverbed, and it was just like a fucking city, and it was like this for miles. Like this was just like on and on, like all the way down the river, and there was just like a whole fucking shanty town there, right? And yeah, they just let that happen. Yeah, it was crazy, and it was like, you know, it was like really scary. Like, can you imagine like you're just trying to like, you know, go hiking here or like go biking, and it's just like you know, it's fucking just drug city over there. Fucking needles everywhere. Yeah, it was awful.
Located on Oxnard Street near the 405 freeway.
Look at it,
LA
it's
Mayor
huge.
Karen Bass said the location
I guess that's
has
where
been
they
the site
went.
of violence and fires
What?
in recent years, like this fire in November, and then this one a month
This is
later.
crazy.
This is such a dangerous location. I saw propane canisters all over the place.
Yeah, because what they do, and by the way, this actually caused there were speculations that this actually caused some of the fires that happened a while like kind of, what year was that? Like kind of like 20 I don't know exactly what year it was, but it was like kind of maybe about 5 years ago. There were some fires that they speculated were caused by this, because what happens is the homeless people, they get like those garbage, you know, like those barrels, those like metal barrels, and they fucking light fires in them to like keep warm and stuff at night. Yeah, they always set fires.
She's so
Yeah.
mad
The
about
mayor's
it. She's been
Inside
okay with
Safe
this for
program.
years.
The unhoused people were given a choice: accept housing from the city or leave the lot. The mayor's office said 30 people chose to move into a motel.
What
That
made the
giant
mayor
mess.
change
You
her
can also
mind
only
about this?
Imagine what it smells like
Ugh.
in there. The city has tried to clean this particular area up before.
Yeah.
At least 3 different times.
It never
and
worked.
Like, can you imagine like having to like raise kids in like these conditions? It's like, oh yeah, go walk to school, right? Your kid having to like just walk to school through that kind of shit. It's
People
crazy.
have come back and
Did
set
you
it
say
up
out
again.
on
We'll
house
see
people? Yeah.
what they're able to do to potentially stop
They're like politically correct, right?
it.
You got
But this is
bulldozers
another reminder
everywhere.
of the complexity of this problem.
And I'm telling you guys, like, dude, I've seen people in the comments saying that I'm bullshitting and it doesn't look like that. What are you gonna believe? What you're fucking looking at with your eyes right now? Like, what? How am I lying?
No.
In so many areas
There's
that
no
have sort of
complexity.
been allowed to.
And yeah, obviously this isn't in every single area. Obviously, if you live in a rich area, they don't even allow this to even start off in the first place. Obviously, if you're living in like, you know, fucking Irvine or something, they're gonna kick your ass out like immediately. The instant you try to set up a tent, you're fucking out of there. You think the Irvine PD is gonna let, you know, Irvine PD, the Laguna Beach PD, you think they're gonna allow people to do this there? Of course not. This is only in the areas for like lower income, and like kind of lower middle class people. That's it.
Stay like this.
And we see this in a lot of areas.
So yeah, it's not like this everywhere, obviously, but in a lot of places it is like this. And it even being like this in some of the places is already a big deal, in my opinion.
where they come in, they do clean up, even streets near Fox 11. They come in, next thing you know, the encampments are gone. and then several weeks later, they bounce right back.
There's nothing complex about this. If you allow people to live on the streets in a warm weather climate, some people are gonna do it. Oh, they got dogs too.
For me and my husband and my dog.
A small group of protesters.
They have dogs. The homeless people.
Demonstrating against the dismantling of the
Why are they
encampment
demonstrating?
padlocked the gates shut. The sweep took place in the 15,300 block of Oxnard. Mayor Karen Bass admonished the demonstrators.
Some people actually fight for people to stay in these kind of
thought that's what you were
conditions,
doing.
and how dare they?
What?
Joining the mayor Thursday were city sanitation workers, Los Angeles police officers, and staff from the mayor's signature.
Dude, can you
homeless
imagine having to be a police, a cop in these places? Holy
outreach
shit,
program.
bro.
Wait, is this homeless outreach person wearing a mask? Like an ICE agent? How dare he not identify
How dare
himself
he?
to these protesters? But the part of this that's incredibly suspicious is it comes just moments after an executive order designed to stop the homeless industrial complex in its tracks was signed by the president.
Inside
Really?
safe.
Is that what happened?
Some 35 unhoused adults who had called the encampment home were moved from the makeshift community. They boarded buses to nearby motels. Homeless people were allowed to bring just 2 bags of possessions with them or risk having everything destroyed. Organizers said the unhoused would receive free lodgings,
The unhoused.
free food, and other critical services.
Even if we have
Yeah, it's free because you know why it's free, guys? You know why it's free, chat? It's free because they use a replicator and it just appears out of, thin air. Like the houses they grow on trees and all the food, it's like entire meals, there's like a cow in the tree and everything. It just comes out and it respawns every day, actually. It's like fantasy life. It's like, you just like reset the day and then everything respawns.
Thing going on. We'll get the right help and services that we need.
This is the largest homeless encampment in the San Fernando Valley.
Huge.
Nearby
Look at all
businesses and
tents,
residents
tarps.
have complained about it.
this is a
Yeah, isn't that so nice? Free food. It's free and it comes from nowhere because it's free.
notorious encampment.
And the reason it's been allowed to stay here for a long time was because people were getting rich because of its existence.
Sky Fox
What?
over the encampment
Look at that
last
fire.
November when a massive fire engulfed the encampment, sending
That's
coal
ridiculous.
black,
That should have been the
noxious
moment they
smoke
shut
into
it
the
down.
air. But not everyone took the city's offer for lodgings and services. Daniel
Yeah.
told
Yeah, because they want to do drugs. Yeah.
me
Apparently.
he'd been homeless more or less for a decade. What are your emotions about seeing your home kind of gutted?
I built my house over there with pallets and nails and screws and a screw gun and a hammer. So I mean, I built it. I could build it again.
He's got safety glasses on. He's ready to build it
I
again.
know.
But what's crazy is protesters showed up at this and wanted things to stay this way. That's the worst part of it.
The clearing of a massive homeless encampment got a little heated.
Oh, it did.
Protesters tried to block the cleanup crews from getting in.
All right, chat, real quick. How many of them do you think have blue, pink, purple, or green hair? How many do you think? What are your odds? How many Karens do you think? Most? All right.
Blocking the cleanup crews.
A large encampment near the corner of Sepulveda Boulevard and Oxnard Street was cleared and cleaned by Los Angeles City crews Thursday
Nose
morning.
ring? Okay,
It had
nose
been
ring.
there for some time and was
You know what we should do, guys? We should watch a protest video. Actually, no, never mind. I'll die. I was gonna say you should take a shot every time someone has a nose ring, but I feel like I'm gonna die if I do that. I might actually die.
location of a large fire last
Look at the
November.
aftermath.
Mayor Bass's office says the encampment was said to be the home of about 50 to 70 people. Lasso, or the
70
Los
people
Angeles
live in
Homeless
there.
Antifa,
Services
Karen
Authority
Bingo.
described it as one of the largest encampments it's helped clear in the San Fernando Valley.
We cannot accept Angelinos living like this.
But they
Some
have
people
for
actually
decades. Why
fight
is it a
for
problem
people
now?
To stay in these
Unless
kind
the
of
money's
conditions,
gone.
And how dare they sleep in a comfortable bed at night?
Oh my
Come
goodness.
Here
Now we care about the homeless. Now that there's no more money paying for all the nonprofits to keep these people prisoners on the streets of LA, now we care about getting them off the streets.
for people to stay in these kind of conditions.
Protesters who were at
Angelinos is like, yeah, that's the term for people from Los Angeles. That's like I don't know where it came from, but that's what they call it. They've called it that forever. It's not like a
keeps doing sweeps without any real change. Also, this morning in Van Nuys,
homelessness is
Councilman
allowed.
Nazarian broke ground on District 2's 4th tiny home village, which will add 100 more beds to those in need.
So the novel is very thick, just like how the need is. This is a chapter. But if everyone takes this step and does this...
Yeah, this guy right here...
We should just build pods. You know, like those fucking... those capsule hotels. Yeah, just throw that and then just make a big ass capsule hotel, right?
He's in favor of whatever this company behind
You're gonna live in the capsule and you're gonna be happy.
Is doing. They're getting government money to build some massive overpriced building for people to live in. If you take the money out of something, oftentimes the problem changes in ways that the people getting paid to support that problem that never seems to go away don't like. And here's why this all happened just
President
now.
Trump signing an executive order to end homelessness that has taken over public streets. So let's take a look at how he aims to do this. First of all, the executive order helps push tougher laws to clear homeless camps.
Why is it blurred out?
Obviously, homeless people have gathered, put up tents.
Why is it blurred out?
Prevents normal, housed people, whatever, to enjoy these parks and things like that. Now, obviously, this is an issue that Democrats have championed for a long time and failed at under the Biden administration. Spent tens of billions of dollars.
Because everything they do just makes more people homeless.
We saw a 33% increase in homelessness, which is why it has become such an epidemic in so many places. Here's the other thing. We're talking about a lot of money going to this problem. This money is going to largely...
Oh, look where the...
Holy fuck!
Money's going.
City places run by Democrats.
Black
places
holes.
like New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago,
Places
Seattle,
where the
Denver,
money
Portland,
never does anything and only goes into the pockets of the well-connected.
Of these
100%, dude.
Problems occur.
Well, the great news about this executive order, it rejects two key strategies that the left have engaged in: harm reduction and housing first.
Oh.
And it all sounds great on paper and it's very academic. The idea of harm reduction, for example, we're going to try to mitigate the effects by giving someone clean equipment to use in order...
What? Why is it beeped? Oh, I see. Illegal substance use.
To keep them safe so we can get them into treatment.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
And instead of actually using that to push people into treatment. Housing first is, well, putting someone into a home before...
Guys, how fucking ridiculous is this censorship? Like, you can't even say that in a... in a way that you're trying to be educational. You can't even talk about reality like straight up without them demonetizing you. It's fucking ridiculous.
They do anything to address the underlying causes of their homelessness, which again...
That's not going to work. If you take somebody who's decided to live on the streets and you take them off the street and you put them in a house somewhere, what's going to stop them from going back to the streets? Absolutely nothing, especially if they prefer to be out there or if their lifestyle forces them to be out there.
It would work, except it's a total failure because, again, all they're doing is pushing people into subsidized
Guys,
housing.
I'm telling you that my grandma's friend, this shit is outside of her house. Like, she lives in like a kind of old people's home in like LA, and this shit is right outside. They had to build like a fucking fence around the entire old people's home, a big metal fucking fence that uses like key cards to even open the gate. They had to add those because of just the sheer amount of these people that are outside. It's crazy.
Right. That is permanent.
She's basically, like, think about it. She's stuck in that building. She's stuck, 100% stuck, because like, what is she gonna do? Is she gonna go walk around in that as an 80 plus year old woman?
Meaning there's no real attempt to get the person in treatment. They
How
tried
fucked
this in
up is
Salt Lake
that?
City, and it's been a total abject failure. And yet, instead of accepting that, they've just spread it.
Yeah, me and my mom talked about getting her out, but then the problem is all her friends are there. All her friends are inside of that building, right? Like all of the people she knows in life, right, are all there. Like I said, like all of her family's dead.
Because people get rich off it.
One of the things
It's
that
a
gets lost in
complex.
this debate all the time is the fact that, of course, these parks and these city streets and these sidewalks, they're designed for people.
Her son, her only son, died in a workplace accident. A car fell on top of him. He insta died.
To enjoy for people who, residents and taxpayers.
How dare you enjoy a public park when someone who doesn't have a home could be living there? How dare you? That's the attitude that we've had about homelessness in this country for a long time, and that's why the problem just seems to be getting worse. We're not actually helping
now she's fucking stuck, right, in that situation. And this is why I was talking about like how like I'm very pissed off about this whole thing.
Incentivize themselves to get treatment or to get off the streets. Nope, we're saying, hey, do whatever you want. It's fine. Here's some money. Here's some food. Here's a blanket. Nope.
Bring your children to play on the playground equipment.
Yeah,
But
you're
you
not
can't
doing
do
that
it in many of these places because
not
of
safe.
this dangerous problem where you have homeless people.
You want to know a hot take? I don't know how people feel about this, but I feel like if we're gonna do a thing like this where we're gonna pay for people, right? We're gonna pay for like homeless people to have like, you know, government provided housing and food. It should be the bare fucking minimum, the absolute bare fucking minimum. It should be like fucking expired cans of food and fucking oatmeal, and they should live in a little tiny pod, in my opinion. That's kind of a hot take. I know people might think I'm an asshole for saying that, but the reason why is because the bare minimum should be the bare minimum to incentivize people to actually do shit. And if they're okay with living on bare minimum, then that's on them. That's on them. That's not my problem, right?
You have the crime that is attendant with homeless people.
Yeah, we've just ceded all of our public space to folks who aren't paying taxes, aren't contributing to society, and it is...
No, dude, spam is expensive, Haku Mikey, dude. Spam is expensive.
Sad. It is depressing.
Yeah, the absolute backup option should not be desirable. Exactly. What Preacher Hunter said over on Kick. Yeah, the backup option should be 100% like non-desirable.
But it's immoral to allow these people when we are making a choice to allow them to stay there rather than get them the help that they need.
If this right here was where your brother or your friend were living, you and your family and your friends would band together and go there and talk to that person and try to convince them to stop. You would stage some sort of intervention to get them off the streets. But instead of doing that, we as a society just said, yeah, we'll just let people live on the streets. Sure, no problem. It's exactly what's happening in the New York City subway, by the way. And this executive order is going to go a long way towards cleaning that up as well and helping people actually get off the streets permanently.
In the Kingston Avenue station in Crown Heights, National Guard troops are patrolling the number 3 train.
A bed, access to shower and toilet, 1K calories a day, and they should clean it themselves and everything. Right.
Military
Part of a
occupation.
growing show of force.
It should not, like, dude, tiny homes? What the fuck? It should be like a fucking capsule hotel. One bathroom, one bathroom setup, and then they have to fucking share it.
Force underground. NYPD officers are now being assigned.
It should be the bare minimum for survival, and it should be a transitionary thing. It should be like you're not intending to stay here forever. It should be, and obviously you should have services to like maybe help people, like help people find jobs and stuff like that, where then they can get upgrades and like live in a better, maybe we do like a tier system, dude. What do you think of this? Do like a little tier system, like right, like you got like a little like you're like on this tier here, right? And it's like the bottom tier you get like little capsule hotel, right? Your little capsule hotels, right? And then you get like oatmeal, right? Right? It's like just absolute like the lowest fucking possible. And then if you want to work a little bit, then they give you like kind of like maybe they give you like the tiny home here, or like they give you an apartment or something. And then this is because like you're working, right? You pay money for it, right? And then maybe here you get like, I don't know, you get like some fucking cabbages or something, right? You get like some cabbage maybe, and then like maybe some some fucking, you know, hot dogs. Like those like chicken hot dogs. Like there's like a $2 a pack hot dogs. Right? You get hot dogs on this here, right? Just like work a little bit, right? You'll work a little bit here, right? And you work your way up, right? And then eventually you're out of the system. You know, maybe you get like up here and then you're just out. You're just like done. You know, you beat the game, like right here. You beat the whole thing. And then now you're just free, right? You just kind of you can go you know, get your own place. Right? And then we teach people along the way, right? Like teach them some work skills here. Like here, like you wouldn't really like you wouldn't necessarily like the incentive for the work here would be like the better food, right? And then like maybe here, like you when they start making like positive money, then you can, you know, you could get them some low income housing or something like that. Right? I don't know. You know, just throwing it out there, you know, just throwing it out there.
To every subway
this is how safe the subway is.
The city in the overnight hours.
Although we have brought down crime, people are feeling.
Merton says, I'd rather go for forceful relocation. If you don't move people from what they know and like, they won't change. Oh, like you force them out of the cities? I don't know, but I don't know. It's hard to say.
It's a homeless
Stepped
encampment.
up deployments while admitting that's only part of the answer.
Because you can't, dude, you can't have this. Like, this is not, you cannot have this. You can't have people fucking, you know, doing this on the subway. You can't have people screaming at signs and getting in fights with demons, like in the streets. You know, like it's just not.
The city needs a long-term strategy for its mental health crisis, with unstable people in the transit system and in the streets.
For far too long, we were walking past them, acting like they don't exist, allowing them to sleep on the.
Do you think it's crazy that it's always? Did you see the cities that were on this list? They were all fucking blue cities. How about that?
Side of the highways and allowing them to sleep in our subway stations.
Because the laws in New York force this to happen.
Like everything was fine. I refuse to
that guy
do
wearing
that.
a Skittles box.
The severely mentally ill are often swept off the streets and taken to a psychiatric emergency room, briefly hospitalized, and then released.
That's the whole thing. In New York, they have involuntary commitment, but it only lasts for a very short period of time. And if somebody's got long-term problems, that's not enough time to actually help them make some sort of...
Whose fault was this? Was that Reagan? It was Carter? It was Carter and Reagan?
change in their life. So what happens? They end up right back in
Trump's
the
fault.
subway. And you know,
Nick Owens says it's Trump's fault.
Something every single nonprofit out there getting rich off quote-unquote outreach services, whether it's LA, whether it's New York. These companies, they're under contracts which cost millions of dollars per year. And if those contracts go away, what's the point of the organization? They don't benefit from solving this because once they do that, now there's no reason for their nonprofit to exist anymore. I'm not saying that
there was so much abuse that sounds... Okay, see, but... Doesn't that seem a little weird? Doesn't that seem a little like throwing the baby out with the bathwater? Like, there was abuse in the mental asylums, so we shut them down. It seems a little fucking weird. Wouldn't the problem be to fire those fucks and then put them in jail? It's just weird.
People don't have good intentions, but good intentions aren't enough if somebody is deciding to live in a capacity that is going to greatly...
Guys, my entire point here is... We cannot have crazy people on the streets yelling at people, tweaking out on the ground, having fights with street signs, and punching random people in the face. Dude, you want to know? Dude, you want to know a story? My friend literally just told me the story yesterday. Right? So like, wait, wasn't he? Didn't he tell this on stream? Did he tell this on stream? Basically, he was actually, I don't think it was on stream. But he was walking, right? He was walking, like him and his brother were walking down the street, and this like homeless person, like, stands up and like looks at them and like walks up to them, but then he just kind of stops and then he like backs off. And my friend was like, what the fuck, right? literally right after that happened, the next person, there was a guy and his wife, and the homeless person sucker punched the husband. So it's like the homeless person would have sucker punched my friend, but he was like two guys. Whereas like the dude was like a dude with his wife. And so it was like a guy and a girl. So then the homeless person found it like easier to sucker punch like the dude. Like you cannot fucking have that in society. I mean, you just can't. You can't have that kind of shit. It's crazy.
Shorten their life and put the people around them in danger. What do you think about that? What do you think about the president's executive order that takes
I think it's purple. It's a purple city.
the money out of the homeless industrial complex? Let me know. I'll see you in the next
But
video.
you just can't have this like in society. You can't have crazy people. Look, what's the alternative? Like what are we gonna do about it, right? And what I'm saying is like what's a better alternative than asylums? Like I would love to hear it, because I think if you were to ask me what's the best alternative, is that families should be taking care of each other. That's my solution. But like, you know, that's obviously not going to be the case for everyone, right? So what other solution do you have? Right? Besides an asylum or besides a jail or something like that. You can't have, you just cannot have a society. That is like the number one priority in society, that you should not be under the tyranny of being randomly punched in the face by these people, or having to deal with, you know, them causing unsanitary conditions, right? Or unsafe conditions. Like this should not be allowed.